Final team, are you ready for a showdown?
It's a top 5 showdown of we're calling them the easy listeners. The analysis paralysis you get when you're getting ready to listen to records is a real thing. And Wheels and I thought we'd share 5 artists that we can listen to, put on the turntable at any time under any circumstances, right?
Yeah, and be happy with the music.
Yeah, because there are times when you're working or you're doing something else where you might want something instrumental, or you might want something that you've heard so many times that means so much to you that isn't going to distract you from what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
And it's true, because it's the same way when I'm trying to pick something to watch on Netflix or Hulu.
Yeah, you're flicking through everything.
You're spending 45 minutes
Yeah.
just trying to decide what you're going to watch. But these are easy listeners, ones that you can put on anytime and be happy with your choice, right?
Indeed.
So let's start with a number 5. You can take the Vinyl Ventures record.
Yeah, and we're talking about the bands, not necessarily the specific album.
Right. So for me, the Black Crowes are always a band I can listen to. And even though they were basically called an American Rolling Stones, since their career began, there's still a broad spectrum of music. Their first album was more kind of hard rock leaning, a little horns in it. Second album is more southern rock, and then they've run the gamut from there. They've done so many things, and they've put on so many hats. I just love Chris Robinson's voice, and anytime I'm like trying to pick between 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 things to listen to, I always go back to the Black Crowes. This is Warpaint. This is a really, really good album by them. It's a little less rocking, a little more easy going, but the music on this is fantastic. But I can put any of their stuff on and be happy with it. Rolling Stones are another example of a band, I think, that for most people that are fans and collectors, you can almost listen to them anytime.
Anytime.
Yep. So number
That's
5.
a good start.
Thank you. Number 5, Black Crowes. And take it away for number 4, John. You can tell them about this.
Number 4, Atlantic Rhythm and Blues. So they've collected the music that was on Atlantic from 47 to 74, and there's 7 records in the collection.
We've talked about this collection before. We both love it. I mean, it takes not just a cross section of a band, but the cross section of an entire label's catalog under rhythm and blues, and some of the best rhythm and blues artists in history are on this label.
Yeah, and some of the first editions have race music that wasn't played anywhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody played it.
Yep.
And
certainly not on the radio.
No, not on the radio.
Yeah.
So the only way you could hear it was on a record.
Yeah. And, people would share records like this at parties, get-togethers. And then, it was a totally different time. The information was not shareable the way that it is now.
Yeah.
So a lot of these artists and a lot of these albums gained their notoriety from get-togethers like that. I mean, what better to put on at a party than an album that's got, let's read you some of that's got Eddie Floyd, Otis Redding, Wilson Pickett, Sam and Dave, Arthur Conley, Aretha Franklin. It just goes on and on and on. Otis and Carla.
I think this has Ray Charles on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ray Charles, King Curtis, R.B. Greaves, Brooke Benton. You cannot go wrong with this collection.
It's the kind of music it's what they would be listening to. I think Mess Around is on Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
When they're in the car.
Yeah.
The whole album would be perfect for a road trip.
Actually, you're thinking of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah.
Yeah, with Mess Around,
yeah.
and he's playing the piano on the dashboard. Yeah, so if you ever see this, there is I believe there's a package that has all of the
There's
volumes.
a box set I saw one time and I didn't buy it
Right.
because I had half of them. I'm like, oh, I'll pick them up.
Yeah. Regrets. But Atlantic Rhythm and Blues, any of those,
They're all good.
fantastic records. Okay. This is obviously my choice because Johnny hates jazz. But if we're talking instrumental music, if we're talking jazz in particular, Miles is somewhere that I always go to because the spectrum of music that he put together and put out is unmatched by anybody. I mean, he's kind of like Dylan in his prodigiousness because there's just so much.
There's a lot.
And he went through so many phases in his career, but this is his first Columbia release. This is Roundabout Midnight. I've talked about it a million times. I've got a mono copy. I've got a MoFi copy that's 45 RPM. I got this copy from Michael Young. This is a first pressing of it. And, the jacket's got a little trouble, but the vinyl looks
Is in really good shape.
fantastic. And if anybody that asks me about Miles Davis at all, I'm going to tell them Roundabout Midnight is one of the best places to start. Now, Kind of Blue is also a great place to start for people that haven't listened to a lot of his stuff. But I think you start here and you just move through it.
Yeah, and I think I have both of those because of you.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Jazz for me, and I've mentioned it before, jazz for me is kind of a reset button. If I'm very busy with something, if I'm stressed out, if I've just kind of been in a rut listening to things, jazz is a really good way to
Cleanse the palate.
cleanse the brain palette. And obviously, on the back here you have when it was new, the jazz treatment.
Yes.
Which is kind of like a mini biography of Miles and
Yeah.
his career up to that point. So that's one that I almost always reach for if I'm having trouble selecting something else.
That's a super good example
Thank you.
of one that is perfect for, hey,
Yeah.
I'm struggling. Put this on.
Yeah. So this band, there's always a lot going on with this band, but then there's always quiet moments with Pink Floyd. This is Adam Hart Mother. Pink Floyd, as I get older, I just appreciate them more and more. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, and for me, Pink Floyd was the music I always put on in my apartment in college when I wanted to study.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Just because it's not anything you're going to stand up and sing along with,
Right.
but it's just great music to kind of, it's a little bit like jazz for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason, I just love the lyrics.
Yeah.
I love the music, but I love the lyrics
Yeah.
too.
There's so much going on in Pink Floyd's music. There's
Yeah.
so many dynamics. There's hard and heavy parts. There's very mellow parts. A lot of instrumentality. And the star of the show for me is David Gilmour, but Richard Wright. Start listening for that Richard Wright keyboard stuff because
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why in the last couple of years when I've been hearing Pink Floyd, his all of his parts in the songs just pop out to me, and I don't know why that is. This is from the 2015, 2016 repops that
Yeah.
they did of basically their entire catalog, and all of them sound
Oh, yeah. The repops sound so good.
they sound so fantastic. So Pink Floyd at number 2, and I think that Led Zeppelin is one of those bands that such a short amount of time that they were around, such a collapsed catalog, but for me, it's kind of like what you said about Pink Floyd. It's almost appropriate for any situation.
Yeah, if I'm on good old radio and Led Zeppelin song comes on, I don't change.
Yeah, yeah. There are just certain bands that you hear that you continue listening to. I
Yeah.
mean, there was a point in my life, probably 15 years ago, where if I heard Stairway to Heaven, I would immediately switch the channel. But now, now that I'm almost 51, I just want to hear as much Led Zeppelin as I can. Now, we could have included the Beatles in this, but as I said many times, I feel like the Beatles are part of all of our DNA. I think they're, and anybody that tells you that they hate the Beatles or they don't want to listen to the Beatles, skepticism immediately.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there are lists and lists of bands that you can listen to anytime. We want you guys to communicate with us on our social media or our YouTube channel and give us your top 5 bands that are easy listeners, being albums that you can put on anytime. What do you want people to do when they go to the socials, John?
We want people to like our channel. That
Yes.
little thumb, hit it.
Yep.
And subscribe. And comment.
And share the things that you love with people who are no longer or not yet a part of the vinyl team and the vinyl crew. We want to make sure we thank Keith Toombs and Jacob Hansen, because without their help, we wouldn't be doing any of this. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. We want to also remind you to go to the merch link that's on our shows, because you can get the Wheels Approved stickers or the Vinyl Ventures mug that I have right here. Most of all, we want you guys to know how much it means to us that you're such a big part of this community. We have over 800 subscribers on this channel, and we could not do any of that without you guys liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing. So thanks to all of you, and we'll see you all the next time around.